Hello, everybody. Welcome back to
Hello?
another episode of. I forgot what we named this show, so I'm just gonna call it the Dancast because Daniel hates that. Welcome back.
That's not the name.
Welcome back to this thing.
It was
Nope. Okay.
idiots
That
on
works.
idiots on the airwaves. That's what we
Idiots.
named it
Yeah.
now. We've changed the name.
Not welcome back.
That works
Welcome
too.
to the idiots on the airwave with an extra.
We are
idiot.
the idiots on the airwaves, and we
Yeah.
are joined by another idiot.
Who is
We
not
are,
on the
yeah.
airwaves, so don't even try and compare him to us. But yes,
Yeah.
we have a movie fanatic.
Thank you.
Some would say he's insane, but that's for separate issues.
Weird.
Anyways, we've come here today
Anyways,
to talk about a movie. Do you either of you know what that movie is?
No.
Oh. Well,
no, I have literally no clue.
you don't okay. Well, I was really hoping you guys would know. Anyways,
Can you tell us, Mr. AdventureKarma?
no, because I didn't prepare for this
Please.
episode, because I assumed you guys would know.
Well, neither did I. Some movie called
Inception.
Brain Damage.
Oh, brain damage. I mean, same thing, really.
Well, that works. Pretty much.
So movie. It's called Inception.
So.
Isn't that right, guys?
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
Inception.
Yeah. Inception.
Great movie.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Some would say it's not a
Seen
great
it a couple
movie.
times.
But
No.
moving past that.
No, they wouldn't actually.
People who have actual taste would say that.
They would not say that.
Nah.
If they say that, I would not acknowledge them as a somebody.
Agree to disagree. So, Inception is a movie starring Leonardo da Vinci, and it's all about dreams and reality, right? I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Yes.
It's about dreams, yeah. If you
Interesting.
want to put it very generally.
So,
Yes, I love Leonardo da Vinci. His role
No,
is
no.
beautiful.
I said Leonardo da Vinci. Please say his name.
Oh,
Da
Da
Vinci.
Vinci.
Da
I'm
Vinci.
sorry,
Yes.
I mixed it up with the wrong guy.
Thank you.
Sorry, I've just
Leonardo
never
da
seen the
Vinci.
movie. I don't know what we're talking about.
You've seen it literally like 37 times.
Maybe.
So, Andrew, what is your
Yes.
favorite part about Inception?
My favorite part about Inception would be the. I love how Christopher Nolan makes no sense with reality. So if you think about it, you don't really know what's happening, and that's my favorite part.
Oh, well, I guess I haven't
Because-
really thought.
I don't
this.
know why.
I knew what was happening the whole time.
Yeah, no, it actually wasn't that confusing.
That was one of the least. That was one of the less confusing Nolan movies.
Have you seen multiple?
Yes, technically, and I've
no.
read up on a bunch of other ones. I know Tenet was really
Okay.
confusing, and
Yes.
Prestige was okay. It wasn't that confusing. It was like Inception. It wasn't that confusing. It was like you
There's
get
big
stuck a little bit in the
reveals.
middle, but then the end kind of picks up for it, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what happens, and yeah.
That's a fun
So-
movie.
I thought Inception flowed pretty well. I think I knew what happened. I didn't think he did.
Yeah, it flows pretty well. It's easy to, keep track of it, of what's happening, and like once you finish the movie, you can understand what just happened. But if you
Yeah.
think about it more, like, wait, what if this part of it was a dream? Then what happens here? Did he never wake up? in
It's
this
pretty
part when
laid
he's
out
trying
as to what is
certain
dream and what
chemical?
not. It's only the ending that people like to theorize about, which is I don't know,
No,
kind of unnecessary to
no,
me.
there are multiple theories. Some people theorize that all of it is a dream. Others say he never woke up.
Yeah,
when he was
that's
in
overthinking it for me.
His
I
basement.
I don't want to think that hard about a
Yeah.
movie. Not gonna lie, that's
Yeah,
not.
that's what I mean.
If it was a game series or a TV series, then maybe, but not over a movie. That's yeah.
Yeah, different interests here, I think.
That's too much thought.
Before we get much further, I just need to, tell everyone here. I very much love Christopher Nolan. I love Inception. This is just backstory about me, about who I am as a human being spiritually. Christopher Nolan's movies are wonderful. I recommend all of his movies, especially like Dark Knight, Inception, Interstellar, Tenet, those sorts of movies. Prestige, the whole Dark Knight trilogy, Dunkirk.
Yeah, so
all
you're
of
gonna
them.
name off every single Christopher Nolan movie.
This is the most basic speech
It's not
I've
that
ever
hard.
heard. So, the ending of Inception is famously vague. What are
Yes.
your opinions on it?
Don't
First,
think it's
I
big
love
at all.
it can be. I love the children.
What do you mean? No, hold up. Quote, what do you mean it can be? There's not multiple versions of the ending.
Well, okay, the
either-
ending is the same ending, but if you will remember, since both of you have seen Inception about as many times as I have, there's the opening scene
Oh yeah.
of Inception. Dude washes up on the beach, gets dragged into Saito's whole mansion,
Yeah.
king
Yeah,
castle.
because
whatever
that
you call it.
happens at the end too. It was like a lead
Yes,
to the.
but what they say is different. Their lines are different, slightly different, but still different.
No,
Yeah, they
not
are.
really. They just leave out the part immediately afterwards that happens at the
Okay,
end.
Daniel, trust me, I've
and, like,
seen this
catch
movie
up.
34 times. I know what I'm talking about, okay?
Fuck.
They say different things. For example, in the first time he says, "Are you here to kill me?" Second time is, "Have you come to kill me?" It's different. Or maybe I mixed those around. But they're different.
Okay.
So, for that second to last scene, you can't know. Well, you don't know whether it's actually real or if it's like a flashback or if it's actual
What?
reality or what it is. And then you don't know if he wakes up
That sounds
from
like a petty reason to think that it's not reality,
a better
or
reason.
to be doubting about it.
A better reason is earlier in the film, Cobb explains that since they're sedated so heavily, they can't wake up the normal way, which is dying. Instead, when they die, they drop down into limbo, which is
Right.
limbo. And when he's in limbo, you can't drop further. But how do you wake up when you're sedated? You can't. But they wake up by dying, which doesn't make much sense. So he wakes up and immediately is on
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does. It's
the
called
first
science
level.
fiction.
That is called reality.
Wait, who
But
wakes
in
up
the
by dying?
in the
No,
rules that are laid out
Hold up,
in the
hold up.
movie,
Who
Daniel.
wakes up by dying?
What?
Yes, dying can really
No,
give
no,
you
no,
questions,
that's not what I said. I
recommend.
said who wakes up by dying.
Me.
Nobody wakes
No,
up.
no,
by-
no,
He means
'cause
out
that-
of the dream. Wakes up out of the dream
Out of
because he
the
died in
dream.
the
Yes.
dream.
Out of the
Out of the
no, out
dream.
of the deeper dreams, who wakes up by dying?
Okay, you mean in the movie?
Yes.
What?
Who wakes up by dying? Okay, so
Oh,
in the scene immediately, actually no, the scene when the first dream is collapsing, basically when Nolan's laying out the rules for the whole movie. Very, very clever the way he does it, honestly. So watch the movie, guys. But Arthur gets shot in the head. Sorry for all you, bullet-sensitive listeners here.
Spoilers!
He gets shot in the head, and that is how he wakes up. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
one example. Then Saito gets buried under like a ceiling, gets crushed, and that's how he wakes up. And then Cobb gets flooded, and that's how he wakes up. And then later on, Arthur's woken up by an actual timer, so that shows another way to wake up without sedation. And so does Cobb. Nash, the architect, gets his neck snapped. Again, warning to all you, neck snapping sensitive listeners here. So
gosh.
those are times that they wake up by dying.
Okay, but only one of those.
Times
actually
that they
breaks
drop
the-
down to limbo
No.
while dying is when Saito gets shot, well sedated on the first level down, first dream, and then dies on all the levels and drops onto limbo. and that's how you get to the second to last scenes.
Okay, but when the ones you're talking about originally that died, only one of those actually break the pre-established rules. It's only the shooting in the head that would actually not make sense, but they weren't under the super heavy sedation at that point, so that doesn't count. And everything else, it's been pre-established that a kick would wake them up, which never was specified to say that you couldn't die during the kick. It just had to be a sudden movement.
True.
It just had to be an impact of sorts.
Actually, okay, that's the kick is very inconsistent.
Yeah, the kick is vague.
Yeah.
And that's probably why things are all messed up and why there's so much theories.
For a bit of backstory, they explain that one of the only ways to wake up well sedated in a dream is to, at least with this kind of sedation, because as Yusuf says, it leaves inner ear function unimpaired. So that way they can feel falling or tipping. And have you ever fallen?
No. I've never fallen before.
While
Please
dreaming?
Explain to me. What is that like?
Yes, I have fallen in dream and reality more times than I care to recount.
I don't even know what falling means.
Honestly, I don't know either. I was introduced to it.
Yeah.
In this. Yes. That's one way to wake up. I think they do it, honestly. But yeah, it snaps people awake. But the way they explain it is if you have that movement in the layer above the dream, then you wake up from the dream below. So like, just imagine different layers. If you wake up first layer, well, if you fall first layer, second layer, you wake up, goes back to the first. But they're kind of inconsistent with that because they go falling on the layer below. Like one time, actually twice, people jump off of buildings. Sorry to you jumping off of building sensitive people out there. They jump off of buildings in limbo and use that as a kick to get back up to the next level, which is highly inconsistent.
I like how limbo is just full of buildings. Like, of all the things to be full of, it just has to be full of buildings.
Well, they did have 50 years or so down there, so they kind of just...
Yeah, just the two of them. And they just... I don't know, I guess they just whipped it all up in their imagination.
For context, two of the characters in the movie got stuck in limbo for about 50 years and built an entire city. Just because
also,
not everyone who watches this will watch the movie.
Is dream times are very confusing because your mind works faster while you're asleep, and so things can
so the
seem
deeper
longer.
the dreams go, the longer it takes in other dreams and then reality.
Which actually doesn't make
sense,
any...
and that actually
it does make sense.
That's actually pretty consistent.
That doesn't make sense, no.
Yeah.
That's not how brains work.
That makes sense. That
is.
I don't think so.
Dreams can seem so long, and then you wake up like 2 seconds later.
No, that's not what I'm
in
saying.
Reality,
I'm saying
like,
the deeper you go, the faster time goes. Doesn't really make sense.
Okay, it doesn't, but also, have you ever had dreams within dreams? Because...
No.
Actually, we don't really experience them. But what they do in this movie is they basically treat each dream level as a version of reality. And so, same rules apply.
True. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Unless the dreamer consciously changes things. Which does happen.
Sus.
That's one of the most confusing things about the movie, honestly, is all the time differences. It's like a huge time zone changes between every scene.
Even that though, it's
like you get jet-lagged with each scene. Dream-lagged.
As long as you know, as long as you can just keep it in mind, it's not really. That wasn't very complex for me, so it wasn't really that difficult to keep track of. I got the hang of it on like the first watch through.
Which was your only watch through?
Almost.
Almost. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, one of my favorite things is just how confusing it is with the inconsistencies. Like if you think about it, how do the kicks actually work? How did they wake up from limbo if they can't die by waking up? That sort of thing.
They don't explain
and
that?
that's one of my favorite. No, they don't.
What?
So,
I
for a
thought
bit
they
of
did.
context, those two people who got chopped down in limbo for like 50 years or whatever, they woke up, warning for all you getting run over by train sensitive listeners here. They woke up by getting run over by a train. And that's how they woke up through the levels, because since they weren't sedated, they could wake up by dying. Whereas, when they are sedated later in the movie, they treat it the same way with dying, which makes no sense. So you don't know when they wake up if it's reality or not.
I mean, yeah, you kind of do.
So that's why people... No.
If you
That's why people
die
don't know if
or
the
get
last
kicked,
scene
you wake up.
is... Not when you're too heavily sedated.
Don't you just go back up another dream
Like,
level
Eames-
then?
No. Eames says, when we die, we wake up. And Cobb says, not with this kind of sedation. We're too heavily sedated. And no, Yusuf says we're too heavily sedated to wake up that way. They are too heavily sedated on all of the levels because they're too heavily sedated in reality.
Wait, so by heavily sedated, you mean that they just, like, OD'd in all of the levels of...
No. No, they
I'm
use
sorry,
a sedative. They use a sedative to, keep them asleep in the real world for 10 hours on a plane flight, so that they have enough time on the levels below, to
Right.
get what they need to get done.
Oh, right,
So
and
they
the
are too
dreams that
sedated.
they've done for experiments typically don't last that long.
Yeah, and they can wake up basically whenever they want on dreams without sedation, either by dying, or sometimes you can just focus enough to get out of it, which kind of makes sense, but is a bit inconsistent as well, but yeah.
Nolan is really good at being inconsistent, but just consistent enough
He is.
to where it's, like, starts all these conspiracy theories about what actually happened. When really, it's just a cover-up of, like, I don't know. I don't want to say bad writing because it's not bad writing. It's actually pretty genius. Because it's
It is genius.
bad writing. It's what's genius is that all of that is intentional.
Yeah. And I love
Because
that so much.
so many people have done stuff like that unintentionally, and henceforth it's like bad. But he does it intentionally, so that with that being the desired
And
reaction,
does it
it's
right
kind
because of that.
Is it what?
Yeah. He does it intentionally and does it the right way.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's, I don't know. That's one of those things that really makes me go like, ah ha ha, because it's like on the one hand I really don't like that, but on the other hand he did it so well. I just like can't deny it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, personally, I love it. It's so good.
So the ending is vague. So the real question is, does it matter if he's in reality or not?
No,
Technically
not really, actually.
Because actually
Yeah,
no,
you
it
do.
it depends on who you ask. It depends on who you ask, because like on the one hand, those certain theorists that like want what like the reality or dream, then they really really want it to be like, it kind of does matter to them as far as their like mental attitude about it, but I don't think it matters, because since it's been intentionally made to be open to interpretation, I have my interpretation and I don't care about anybody else's. I have my own, and that's all I really need.
Yeah, that's basically what the movie's meant for, honestly. At least that last scene. Because in my opinion, I like to believe that it's reality, even though I can think of lots of reasons that it's not.
Well,
For
yeah,
example,
same.
the cut to black at
I
the
think
end
it's
could
reality.
be him waking up to actual reality.
I don't see how
But
that could be. That's a
what
bit
is
of a
important?
stretch, but it doesn't really
Well, okay,
matter.
I explained this with the song itself, which doesn't make sense to people if they haven't listened to the song and watched the movie.
But the
So
song
yeah,
that
I'm
they
not gonna go
used
into that one.
to time
Time.
the
No,
kick.
no, time. Time itself, like the song time.
Oh, wait. What?
You know, the song that I don't remember.
And yeah,
Wait,
because you don't pay
how do
attention
you?
anyway.
What's the significance of that song as far as making it reality then? Because I guess I haven't heard this
Okay,
side of the story
so
before.
in the song and in the last scene of the movie, you can hear a faint beat. Not well, like the song has a beat, right? But it's a faint beat, and then towards the end, it slows down and eventually stops right before the end. So like I like to think that that's his heart stopping.
What, the cut? That part where it like raises up towards the end, it's like
No,
and then
He's
it cuts out.
dead?
No, the cut.
He died
Yeah,
in
he dies.
comatose.
The cut is. Yeah, the heart stops like a few seconds before the movie does, and so I like to believe that that cut to black is both his waking up to reality and his death, because that's so cheery,
You think he dies?
so happy.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought I just
Why?
figured that
that's
was
okay. That's one interpretation.
No.
That's
Why
not
does
all.
he die?
That's not my main one.
No. You need to
Because
explain
why
to me
wouldn't he?
why he dies.
Yeah, that's the problem with these theorists.
So-
Is that like that's the problem with all these theories that people try to come up with? Because it's like
Okay.
you try so hard to have stuff
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. Hold up.
like
I remember. I
um
remember.
like you work so hard to have like this idea, and then I'm like, okay, why? Why does it need to be
Okay, here's why.
interpreted? And people are like, because why not? And I'm like, no, that's not how these kind of theories work.
Well, that's why
That's
all the
not.
interpretations are. But here we go. This is why I remember why it's both dying and waking up. So, if you'll remember, the first dream level down is at the end of the movie. He is currently in the back of a van, underwater, under a river, because they just drove off backwards off a bridge
Right.
for like a double kick, to wake people up.
Yeah.
And
Which is really funny.
since-
Let me just say, watching that van fall that slowly is
Oh,
just
hilarious.
really amusing to me.
Yeah, of course it is. But anyways, he's drowning down there. Well, up there, I mean, wherever. And so, you could think that he would wake up or be on a different level of the dream, but since the dreamers of those levels, because it specifies that, like, it's all up to the dreamer themselves, like, that the level is controlled by and all that stuff. If the dreamer
Yeah.
themselves wakes up from that level, the level goes bye-bye. And so the levels above Limbo and leading up to that first level were all gone. And so when he died in the first level, there was no Limbo to fall back into because he was already in Limbo, and there were no other levels to fall back into. So he. I think he was just-
Wait. But you just said that he died if he died in the first level, but then he's already in
Yeah.
limbo. How
Well,
can he be in limbo and the first level?
Because he's asleep on the first level.
Wait, but if he's asleep on the first level, he goes down to the second level. He doesn't go to limbo.
No,
And you
there is
said there was no
second level,
limbo
that's
to
what I'm
fall
saying.
back down to.
Okay, so first level is reality. Let's just go reality. You're asleep in reality, which means you're awake on the first dream level down. When you're asleep in the
Okay.
first dream level down, then you are awake on the second. When you're asleep on the second, then you're awake on the third.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah,
you're
I
asleep
get
on
that.
the third, then you're on fourth, so on and so forth. So when he's in limbo, awake in limbo, that means that he's asleep somewhere else. But since the second and third second and third levels went bye-bye, he is now only asleep on the first. and when he drowns to death on the first,
The first
I don't
dream
think
level.
he can fall back. First dream level, yeah. I don't think he can fall back down into limbo because he's already there, you know?
Wait, so
He's
where
awake.
are you sleeping
awake.
if you have to get down to limbo? Because limbo isn't like past
think
level
he's-
10 or something. That's
Yeah,
just.
I think at that point he's either nowhere or he actually woke up at the end of the flight. So there's a bit of a jump.
That's the thing, though. He woke up alongside everybody at the end of the flight. So, like, that's a really, really big stretch
Dream.
to say that that's part of a dream, too. But that's not reality, because he
Okay,
winds
so
up
when
back
he
where
dies-
he was. I don't see how... You say if he dies. Because I am not convinced he actually died.
Yeah, hold up, I'm thinking through this. I don't think he died completely. I think that end was him waking up. Was him dying on the first level and then waking up to reality. Yeah, I keep
Okay.
forgetting stuff about this.
So you
whole
don't
theory.
think that ending scene is reality? My
Well,
dad
do,
and I...
but
My
I'm
dad
just,
and I commonly
have multiple
share...
theories.
Yeah, I know. That's the troublesome part, because I have to stick to something. I have to stick to something, or
Yeah,
I'm gonna not like the thing, which I know is improper, but that's weirdly how my mind
It's a
works.
Nolan movie, though.
Yeah, I get that, but it's also like I have to stick to the one theory I have. So I stick with what Dad
Yeah,
said, which makes sense, which is how it has to be the final scene because there isn't a haze. He sees his kids' faces, and it's not playing in the slow motion. Because like in all the times he sees his kids in the dreams, it's like slowed down to 0.5, I think.
Okay.
But in the reality, it's brought back up to regular speed. So it's
The
that little
reason they are
nuance.
slowed down in the levels above is because the time is relative. And so if the
Yeah,
dream
but
above you
nothing
is
else
slowed down...
slows down. Nothing else slows down. Why should that only slow
The
down?
dream-
That's a really stupid excuse, I think.
What?
Yeah, because if time
I'm
if
just-
time is relative for all that, why would the kids be the only thing that slows down those levels down? Because it's not because everything else doesn't slow down.
I'm honestly
rocking
just
this
confused
world.
now.
Also,
Rocking
to
this
back
world
up
right now.
Daniel's point, the other figment of its imagination, his wife, isn't slowed down. So yeah, that's not a good argument. It can't be that it's just because things slow down on the other levels, because other parts of his imagination don't slow down either.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No,
Is
no.
that yeah? His wife is
I'm sorry,
because
guys,
doesn't
but
his
the other levels... Okay, bit of backstory.
No, I'm
His
talking
wife
about
jumps
things
off of them.
in the same level. I'm talking about things in the same level. Like when he gets down
Yeah,
to
they
the
don't
level where
slow
he
down.
can see his kids, his wife doesn't slow down, but his kids do. And it's got this haze,
dead.
and he can't see their faces. But you see their faces at the end, and there's no slowdown,
Oh,
and
that's 'cause
there's
it's
no
memory.
like filter over them or anything. It's not mystical,
It's memory.
like some faraway
Memory.
fantasy.
That level, that whole level is memories. Okay, this is backstory
Right.
here. That whole
Right, it's a
level
memory
is filled
level,
with
yeah.
memories that he regrets. And so
Yeah.
I think that they're slowed down because he's trying to make that last glimpse of them last and hold on to it as well as he can.
Why would
because
that
it's
be
the
in a
last,
regret? Okay, I would question the
because
character then, because why should that be
he
in a
left
regret
his
level?
kids there.
Right, I get that,
Because he
but
left his
also,
kids there.
but there should also be like, that's the only thing in that level that we see. There's not, we don't see any of his other regrets. So the problem
Oh, yeah, we
with
do.
both of our theories actually is that we can't compare it because none of the other regrets are shown, so they don't have this
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. The train doesn't slow
Okay,
down.
so
No.
yeah, the
What?
train
The
he
train doesn't
regrets.
slow down.
Wait,
Okay,
what
I got
train?
you.
Oh, the waking up from limbo the first time? With his wife?
Yeah, the train appears a few times
We're-
throughout
okay.
the movie.
Oh, okay.
In
But
that
that doesn't
regrets.
slow down.
In the regrets part.
He doesn't
Well,
even
no,
bother
it's
to
the
speed it
regrets
up. It
memories.
just stays the same.
Yeah, because it's a memory.
Yeah, but if he can slow down the kid's memory, if he can slow down the memory of his kids to make that last, can't he just speed up all the other ones that he regrets? Like the train? Because he regrets that one. Doesn't he want to, like, get over that?
If he regrets it, he's not going to try to speed it up. He's not getting over it, remember? He keeps visiting these memories. He's trying to keep them all alive.
Why would he not? Then why would the kids be slowed down then? If he revisits all of them...
Because he's trying to keep them alive.
That's
because
not
it's his last
consistent.
I don't know.
It's not. That's not consistent because all the other levels don't work like that, do they? It's just like it's not that kind of manipulative.
The levels themselves don't slow down.
No, I mean...
No one shows them slowed down because it's in relation to the other levels that are normal paced.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean that the things within each level, like there's not relative, there's not fluid motion and time with each object individually in each level.
What Daniel is saying is that the kids are in the movie slowed down. It's not an outside force slowing them down. It's that they're canonically slowed down.
Oh. So the memory is that they're actually moving in slow motion, and he processed everything in slow motion because he was so shocked.
Actually, that is maybe what happened.
You can argue that because some memories actually do form in slow motion like that. I have a few, actually. So
yeah,
I could buy into that. That's not a terrible idea, Karma. That's pretty good. I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Next question, please.
Well, no. Here, this is going to be my first comment. All right. Here's my issue with what both you guys are saying about it. I don't think it matters in the slightest. I think that's why the ending is so vague, because it doesn't matter if he's in reality or not. He perceives that to be his reality. Yeah. So that's the way I see it.
He's made it his reality because he's finally with his kids. He's just accepted whatever it is as reality.
Yeah. It's about perception. If that's what he perceives as reality, it's as good as reality.
Mm-hmm.
That troubles me on a few levels because it's
that Limbo became a reality.
Well, that troubles me because I don't like how he does. If that is true, just to say, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that because that's not very good growth for his character. But also, the top wobbles, and when he's in dreams, the top doesn't actually move at all. And once a top wobbles, it's not gonna come back. It's gonna fall over eventually, which is what happens when he's in reality. Is that the top falls over? It's supposed to, at least. But I don't know. I know that it doesn't matter whether it's reality or not. And it's fun to discuss and everything, but then you get caught up in you'd have to accept what I say because it could make sense. And I know it doesn't actually.
I brought up 3 different.
Yeah, I know, and they're all annoying. Just as annoying as the one before, because it's just it hurts my head.
Wow.
I don't know. I just like sticking to one thing. I like having a story solid in my head. If it's open for interpretation, I have to stick to one interpretation. I can move around just for the fun of it, but I'm not gonna have no belief, right? I have to have some idea of what happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. But what if the top wobbling was showing that he didn't care whether it was reality or not anymore?
The what? Sorry?
The top wobble at the end?
Yeah.
Maybe it was showing how he was finally accepting whatever it was, whether it was reality or not.
That is not a rule. That is not a rule laid out in the movie.
Yeah, but the top
you can accept whether something is reality or not, but that doesn't change whether it is reality or not. The totem isn't The totem doesn't do that. That's not a rule that's laid out in the movie. So that doesn't make
Totems
sense.
behave how the user wants them or knows how they behave.
No, the user knows how they behave, but the totem doesn't behave how they want them to behave. Otherwise, there's no point in having a totem.
Well, that's how they know whether
In that case, I'll just have the top fall over like every time, both in reality and in the dreams, because I want it to.
But then
that doesn't make sense.
No, I mean the user, not the viewer.
No, I mean like if I was the possessor of the top, the user of the totem doesn't get to decide how the totem behaves.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. That's not laid out in the movie.
Behave. Yeah, it is.
No, they don't.
Because they lay it out in the movie as Arthur is explaining it to Ariadne. That
I know.
The totem.
At the beginning,
you're the only one who knows how
you
it
have to decide how to you have to decide how to distinguish between reality and dream. That is laid out. Yeah. Yes, that's a rule. You have to have that as a totem. But if you accept something as reality, whether it is or not, that doesn't change how the totem behaves, because the totem is supposed to tell you what reality is and isn't. So you can't just decide your own reality and the totem will just follow you because it's your reality.
But
that's not how it's going to work. No, it couldn't.
But okay, can I explain how totems work?
I know how totems work.
So, as Arthur explains to Ariadne, he has a special loaded die, and he is the only one who knows the specific weight and feel of that specific loaded die. Yeah. And so if it reacts to being rolled or however he uses it in a dream, as he knows that it should and as he wants it to, then that means that he
not as he wants it to, how it should work, because that's how Cobb's totem works too. It has to fall over for him to know that it's
actually makes no sense. Because he says that
it is consistent
no one else
with
should
the rest
know
of
about the totem. But he tells Ariadne about what the totem does and how it works. And since she is the ultimate architect, then you never know if the totem actually works.
But she doesn't know how the totem works. Because she'll never know whenever it falls over.
Yeah, he explains it to her.
He explains
What's the point of a totem then?
No.
There's no point of the totem.
No, because what Andrew's saying isn't correct, because he shows her what it is. But she doesn't know exactly how long it will take to fall over. So Andrew, the thing is that your entire argument relies on the fact that the only purpose of Cobb's totem is to fall over. The issue with that, it could also be the time it takes to fall over, which she wouldn't know. So, no, his would still work properly because you know how long it takes it to fall over, which she would not be able to know.
What she knows is that in a dream it just spins and spins.
Well, yeah, because you're not supposed to know what the other person's totem behaves like, because then it screws with people or something.
You can know what it is, but you can't know exactly how it works.
Right, like she lays because she gets her own totem.
He tells how it's in a dream.
What?
She never actually uses her own totem, so it's confusing. But she knows how it behaves in a dream. It just spins. It never falls down. That's all she knows.
Yeah,
she doesn't know whether
how it behaves
wobbles or whether it falls or.
Wobbling is the sign of falling. So if it wobbles, it's going to fall.
You can't tell in the dream.
Yeah, because the dream, it doesn't wobble at all. It just remains there, perpetually spinning in this one place.
But it's not his dream, and it's not Maul's dream, and she doesn't know. She subconsciously does not know whether he means.
Wait, which dream are we talking about now?
Any dreams. When he explains to her in reality how it works, all he says is that it spins and spins and spins in a dream. He never specifies consciously, to her consciousness and her subconsciousness at the same time, that it spins smoothly. And so subconsciously, all she knows is that it keeps spinning.
That's not relevant, first of all, and second of all,
that it wobbles.
That's because
so
he
on
can't.
The bottom level, it could still be a dream, because since she designed all the levels, and ultimately kind of controls all of them. That means
Wait,
that
so
the level
then-
could mean it's still going to stay up.
That's not relevant to the ending scene, though, because the ending scene is his dream, not hers.
So you just said it's a dream then?
No. No, what you just brought up isn't relevant. It doesn't matter whether or not what she knows about his totem, because if it's her dream, then it's not relevant because he wouldn't use the totem to begin with, right? Because it wouldn't function properly because she doesn't know how it works, which is the point. So I've been told.
Oops.
I think
What?
you guys are talking about two different things.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm confused here. Okay, I think we can both agree that the totem thing is a bit inconsistent, though, because
No, it's
No, it's
not.
totally
The
consistent.
interpretations are
Doesn't make that much sense.
inconsistent. I don't think the totems themselves are
Exactly.
actually inconsistent.
which is what's
I
fun.
think they
That's why
actually
people
make
say
sense.
that his wedding
but-
ring is his actual totem, because he says earlier in the film that in his dreams he and Maul are still together, and so it makes sense that the scenes that he does have his wedding ring on for means that it's a dream. Which is
Yeah,
a good
that's
way to
pushing
do
it a bit much. I
Yeah, no,
Not
That's-
really.
no, because he could, kind of.
nah, that's
It's
that's
a
too much of a
stretch.
stretch for me.
You can use that as supporting evidence, but it's possible that it's just a red herring.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, no, you could, because he could also just be carrying it around on his person and just, putting it on sometimes and then taking off others, depending on the situation.
Well, yeah, okay, but like, I mean, what the viewer can actually see is
What?
in the
Okay.
obviously dream levels, like the dream of like all the regrets and stuff. He very obviously has the ring on, and that scene in the scenes that are pretty obviously dreams, with him and Saito at the beginning and ends. He has the ring on. It's very obviously there because it kind of focuses on it for a bit. And so for those obviously dreams, it shows it, and then for the obviously realities, it shows him not wearing it.
What?
And then the main thing for me that supports the possibility that his real totem is his ring, that it's his ring, is when he says in the Dream of Regret stuff, when Ariadne asks why it's so important to dream, and he says that it's because in their dreams he and Maul are together, because he's holding on to her so much, and so that's a
I
good
still
reason why
can't
he
see
has
why
that
the
ring
ring
on.
would be his real totem. Because
Because no one else
you
knows
can't
about
have
it
two
except for
totems
him.
at once.
Why can't you?
Yeah, why can't you?
Well, that's not what they said in the movie.
The top
No, they don't
itself
say
could be a
anything
red
about the
herring.
amount of totems.
Yeah,
That's
they just say a
true,
totem is
but
something
then-
that
This is beginning to
signals
sound
to
like
you
a movie that actually
when you're
wasn't
out.
intended to be watched by anybody. Because you literally have to be, like, hearing the person think in order to actually know stuff.
No,
and I
it's
know
about-
that the whole point
Yeah.
of the movie is to not know stuff, but it just bothers me on a little bit of on a small level because I just like knowing things. I know
Yeah,
that
I
the
know.
mo- I know that
I
the
know.
point of the movie is to not know things. I'm just a little peeved that I have to know this little.
Yeah, it's how it works. You know what happens. You know what happens in the movie, and it makes sense. But like I said, until you think more about it, like different.
Until you think more about it and then
you get
realize that
confused.
nothing makes sense, and you just accept
Exactly.
that, which I'm not, which I don't want to
Yeah.
do because that bothers me even more.
I know. Yeah.
That actually hurts my head. Ugh.
Good.
No, not good. Anyways, ugh.
Miguel,
Yeah.
any other questions?
I have just committed to the fact that there is no answer, and it's entirely just that he chose that was his reality. And that way I basically
There we
say there
go.
is no
It's
answer.
the worst choice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
way to go.
Rendered
Yeah,
him.
I admit it, but I hold
you got the one that
firmly.
bothers me most.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. That's my opinion. It doesn't matter. And there.
Well, yeah, I get that it doesn't matter, but like from an interpretation standpoint, yours is it doesn't matter. But I don't think that. But I think that he just accepted it as reality. So it's not dream, but it's also not reality because he just accepted whatever it was as reality, whether it was or not. Which we still don't.
You don't know.
Probably never will, because Christopher Nolan will die trolling.
You don't need to know.
I think it's all
It's
about
not a
perception.
troll. He literally just won't tell us.
I know
Which
that's
I
trolling.
can respect.
I won't respect it.
It's
but
good
whatever.
storytelling.
I think it's all about perception because I believe that if he perceives it to be reality, can we say it's not reality? Like it's
But
kind
we
of,
don't know if he perceived it or not.
that is
just
true.
the other problem.
That is true. That is true. It's the entire issue with like simulation theory is that it's impossible to know if you're in a simulation, but with Inception, you know it's possible that you're in a simulation. So you're kind of stuck in this thing where it's a real possibility that you are in a simulation and you can prove that it's possible you're in a simulation. So at that point, it's like, well, even if you are, you just have to choose its reality. Because if you can't know, you have to choose. Basically.
Yeah, but we
Exactly,
don't
yeah.
know what he chose, if he chose at all. We don't know if he chose anything or
Yeah.
if he actually did know.
Personally,
And it's not
I
like we can
think
just
he
go
did.
into the movie and ask. That's the genius
Do we
part about
need
this
My
whole problem.
argument for him choosing is the fact that he leaves the totem. He doesn't wait to see if
Yeah.
it falls or stays
Ooh.
going. That's my argument.
That is
He
that is
goes
a
to his
very
children instead
fair
of
point.
waiting for the totem.
Yeah, he basically is like,
So it
all
kind
right,
of shows that he's chosen his children over knowing whether it's reality or not. So he
If they're
doesn't
his
care
real
whether it
children,
is or
though,
not,
because if it's
because
not
of his
reality.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. It
Because if it's not reality, they're not actually his children.
Yeah, true.
Are the children
Yeah,
even
you don't
real?
know. It could still be children.
Does he
They're still
have
children.
Okay.
But yeah, he chooses his children over knowing, so it doesn't really matter. Who cares?
Well, I don't know that it's like it doesn't really matter.
So the point of the movie is just nihilism. It's just like, who cares?
No,
Reality
the
is
point of the
whatever
movie
you
is to
choose.
enjoy
That's
and
the moral
think
of the
about it.
story.
In a way, I don't know. I
mean,
don't
sure.
think it's I don't know if it's
I mean, there's-
necessarily a negative nihilism. I think it's more that if
Yeah.
it's like, I guess in a way, yeah, but I find it's more like you can't just spend your life wondering. You know, it's like at some point you just
Yeah.
gotta settle and say that even if this is not what I think it is, I have to try my best here. I don't think it's necessarily negative nihilism.
Is that what faith is, you think?
Personally, yeah, I think
Basically.
that the faith itself, if you, in whatever context
Like,
you use it, it's,
yeah.
you're putting your faith in something that isn't provable. You're just trusting that it is.
Yeah, like
what
for
it is.
Cobb. Yeah, throughout the movie,
Some things
Cobb
you can believe in that
can't
are
stay
provable,
still.
but
He
I
can't
won't
stay
go
in
into
one
that.
place. Like he was stuck in limbo for 50 years and still kept track, like, of the fact that it was not reality, even though Maul just let it become her reality. And
Well, no, actually, Cobb
Just believe that it was
also kind of
actual reality.
hijacked her consciousness.
and then what?
He also did kind of hijack her consciousness.
That
This
is
is true.
That's what he did too. Okay, that's how he signaled to her that it wasn't reality. He's planted the idea.
Yeah,
that
but that's
it
the other
wasn't
thing, is that
reality,
she
so-
chose it to be reality,
What?
so then whatever happened to her should have
So he had
happened
to
him.
be rude and make that choice to incept that idea that limbo wasn't her actual reality. And so it worked, it got them woken up, but then it stayed there and that's what killed her.
No, that's not what killed her. She killed her. She just couldn't take it because she's a
See,
retard.
No.
No, he
No,
hijacked
no.
her free will.
She killed herself because she thought she was waking up to her real children. She thought that she still was in a dream. So that's why she killed herself. She wasn't committing suicide because she was done with life. She was done with the dream. She thought she was waking up.
Yeah, like yeah, because she thought she was in a dream because yeah, he altered the process and kind of interrupted
Yeah.
how would you say? It is hijacking of
ultimately,
the free will, but there's a
he
more technical
succeeded.
way to do it.
He basically convinced her
Well, he
that there is
influenced
no
it.
reality. That's basically what he did.
Yeah.
Is that no matter where she
Basically,
was, she could
which is
not
kinda
believe it was
rude.
reality anymore.
Pish posh about the
Mhm.
rude, but yeah.
So
I
do you
mean, it
guys think
worked.
Cobb is a
He was
horrible
trying to-
person.
Cobb, he was pretty
Okay, he
base.
was trying to get them out
interrupted
of
a woman.
limbo.
He
And
hijacked a
so-
woman's free will for the betterment of himself and her. You could argue that he wasn't for the betterment of him and her, but I'm just gonna
Ends
say
justify the
it's based
means.
and
Yes.
leave it at that. I'm just gonna
I
leave
am
it at that.
concerned. I am concerned.
Yep.
What do you think
Just
about
ask-
Cobb's journey? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, his whole journey throughout the movie.
He's basically taken a complete 180. Where originally it's all about getting back to reality. He wants to get back to the reality of his kids, but at the end, he's choosing to stop trying for reality and just to settle. So if you take my interpretation, it's a pretty basic story of somebody learning to basically be content with where they are in life. But if you think it is a dream, I guess it's kind of the same. But if you want to think about it, that the ending is in reality, it's basically a coming to terms with his own mistakes in life, and that he can't fix everything, and that he made horrible mistakes, and he has to live with it every day now.
What about with
That's-
his wife? Okay, for a bit of context, people, at the end, well, throughout the whole movie, he can't let go of his wife. Like, his memory of her, he has his own perception of her throughout the dreams, and she causes trouble. And then at the end, he has to reconcile with the fact that she is dead. He can't have her anymore, even in a dream. He can't keep her alive because, you know, she's dead. And so
Hope and seethe, or
he reconciles with the fact that he can't change reality. He can't create reality. And so he accepts reality.
But that's based on the idea that it is reality.
Yeah.
Once again, it's all
It
about
is.
how
that's
you
the
interpret
problem.
the ending.
We gotta come back to this again.
Here we go. He accepts that he can't change where he's trying to go. He can't make where he's trying to go happen. Like, he can't bring his wife back. He can't keep her alive. He can't make himself be with his children. He has to get there. And so that's what he does the whole movie. And then at the end, he finally realizes that he just can't change or make reality or
Too much
anything like
effort.
that like he wants to. No, it's not because he gets lazy. It's just because he reconciles with the fact
I know.
he's not like omnipotent. He's just a dude. He's got to settle down somewhere. He can't just keep on trying to change things and make them perfect or however he wants them. And so he settles down. He doesn't just settle down. He's like, oh, I'm done. He accepts wherever he is, and just because he realizes he can't, make a different reality or try to find a different reality. He just accepts where he ends up.
Very good,
Which is what is good.
Notions, I suppose.
Thank you. It's the first time you've ever said that to me.
What's your opinion on how much
Okay,
they
what did you
swear
think
in
of
the movie?
Maul?
You figured they should have sworn more?
No, I didn't even know. Do they?
No,
Do they at all? in the
No,
movie?
not really, actually.
No.
They don't really swear that much at all in the movie.
they don't swear.
It's like-
Swear. They keep it actually realistic. Like
Realistic is more swearing.
Yeah, no,
than that
realistic
movie,
would be a
Just
lot more.
Well, not with Cobb.
Why not?
Cobb's
Oh,
a pretty
sure.
clean dude.
Oh, sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think.
We're talking.
Have
If
you
we're trying to
never
apply
seen
this
him?
to real life, nobody's that clean.
Well, I am.
Well, no, people
I
are.
like to
Just
believe that I
majority of
am.
people aren't.
Wow, bruh.
I don't know. I don't notice stuff like that in
Yeah,
movies.
Ariana is just so innocent. She's innocent, and so maybe everyone else in the movie's trying to preserve her innocence. Because she's an innocent, like, 17, 18,
doubt that
19-year-old.
so much.
She's so
Yeah,
innocent.
right.
Sure.
Have you never met older teenagers?
Mate, you have older
She is
siblings.
innocent, though.
Any closing thoughts, everybody?
So-
Oh, that hurts. That hurts me.
Oh.
God. You haven't even
Any
talked,
closing-
okay?
Closing thoughts from you, you quarterback guest?
Guest? Our
Ooh.
esteemed guest?
Esteemed, yes,
first of
absolutely
all-
honored.
Daniel, frick off. No one cares about you.
That's true.
I don't know why you were here in the first place. Second, everyone go watch Inception if you haven't, and if you have, go watch it again. Third, thank you, Miguel, for hosting me, co-hosting me, 3/4 hosting me. And Daniel,
Yeah.
you know, have a good dinner. No thanks to you. Actually, no, thank you for arguing. That was fun.
Yeah.
Definitely highlight of the day.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun, yeah. You have
Yeah.
a good dinner too, unless you've
I
already
can't wait
eaten
for
it.
all this to be on YouTube and everyone just be laughing or crying or just disappointed
Or yeah, I just
depressed. or
yeah.
angry. I don't know. However people respond, it'll be funny.
Who knows?
Alright.
Miguel, watch the comment sections just
I will.
die.
Alright, well, thank you both for being here. We struggled through a lot of audio issues, so this episode will be shorter than usual. Hopefully, you'll be able to make this up at some other time with much better production value, because, oh my gosh, today was terrible.
Yeah.
But despite that,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
it
for
was.
that again too.
It's
That was
fine.
it was all on me.
it's fine. It was not all on you.
Yeah, come on. man.
Anyways, so that was our
It
talk
was
about
partially on us
Inception.
for hearing you.
Inception's good movie. Go watch it. It's on Netflix. Don't buy it. Pirate it. I'm a
No.
rebel.
That's
Buy
what we
it.
do.
Buy it on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, whatever.
Don't buy it on DVD.
Buy it.
DVD is
Watch
so
it.
cringe.
34
If you
more times.
actually
DVD is
buy-
No, you're
awesome.
cringe.
If you
okay,
buy
next,
DVD
next
nowadays,
episode we
you
are having a
cringe.
battle. DVDs
You
are
cringe.
great.
If you're not
DVDs
digital,
Yes.
if you're
childhood
not
Thank you,
digital,
Dad.
you're cringe.
I grew up with DVDs
Not
and
digital,
VHS. So
cringe.
Okay, guys. Okay, quick. I just gotta say this. Growing up, living with someone with a family who is not just an only child and like two parents. I've got multiple parents and multiple
huh?
children.
I didn't grow
So
up an
it's
only
not just
child.
me using the internet. Yeah, but you are the only child now. At least living there.
Yeah, but I
living at all.
Okay.
You're the only one using the internet, and so
Wait, what?
having other people using it and not having the most stable internet, streaming doesn't always work the best. You gotta deal with buffering.
It's a
Okay,
gold
yeah,
medium.
but I'm
That's
not
medium.
saying that you can use DVDs. I'm saying if you have the ability to go digital, because DVDs are cringe.
No, then
You're cringe.
If you
I
can't
say
stream
you have
the
it, yeah,
ability to go
buy a
DVD.
DVD
Go
because that's the
DVDs.
only way you can watch it.
I will.
Well, it's
I-
not, but okay.
I'm
If
saying
you have to
digital
buy it
over
digitally or
DVD.
DVD, I say go DVD.
I say go
if
digital.
it's free digitally, then
I
sure,
said
go digitally.
both, just to
But
heck
if
you
it
both.
costs money digitally, then go DVD. Plus DVDs, you don't have to like have a subscription to DVDs.
Yeah, you do. You
Unless
gotta
you do.
pay like
I just
you
have
gotta
the
pay an arm and a
missing
leg for
payments.
DVDs and Blu-rays now. That is a problem.
This
It-
is why
it
you should go
costs-
digital.
It
Digital is
costs far
cheaper.
too much.
Daniel, have you ever heard
Digital
of the
for
black
most things
market
just because
before?
it costs far too much.
Because it works.
Digital
The black
is cheaper.
market is
You just
way
aren't
more
looking the right
expensive.
ways.
That's it,
No.
everyone. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Okay.